Welcome children. Today we will be covering computer hardware components part 2. Let us continue from the last video. Today I will be covering first of all the detailed study of central processing unit or CPU. Now let's see the basic definition first. Central processing unit, you remember that this is the main unit which is used for processing work of the computer. Now it has three basic units or divisions rather. First is control unit, CU, arithmetic logic unit, ALU, and memory unit, that is MU. Let us start with the first one, that is control unit. I've told you in the previous video that control unit works like a traffic inspector. Now how does it do? The control unit controls and coordinates all the functions and units of the computer system. It brings one instruction at a time from the memory, interprets it and obeys it by coordinating the working of all other units. Basically it is doing what? See, when you give any instruction to the computer, control unit brings that instruction from the keyboard or mouse by which you give the instruction to the computer's temporary or primary memory. Then it interprets it, means it understands it, and finally after understanding it obeys it, means whatever instruction you have given it will follow it. How will it do it? Because it does not do anything by its own. It tells other units of the computer and coordinate them, means work with them to get the solution out. Alright, so this is the basic job of control unit. By actually it is coordinating and managing all the other units of the computer system. The second one is arithmetic logic unit, ALU. Now as the name suggests, arithmetic logic, here all the arithmetical and logical operations are being performed in this unit as per the instructions given by the control unit. Mind it, it is just told that as per the instructions given by the control unit. Now what are the arithmetic operations? Like additions, subtractions, multiplication, division and so many others, etc. Logical operations means comparisons, like if anything is greater than of anything or less than anything or equal to anything, maybe some other things like not equal to, etc. also. So these jobs, now if you check that this part, arithmetic logic unit, is the main part where the actual thing or actual work is done, means all the calculations, all the reasonings and logics will be done in the arithmetic logic unit. Now let's jump to the third one, that is memory unit. What is it? Now in the memory unit, in short MU, this unit stores the instructions for solving a problem, the data to be processed, the intermediate results and final results until they are displayed. Now you need to understand little what is the job. Now memory unit is actually just like your brain or your memory, where if I tell you to calculate 2 plus 4 plus 6, what are you doing actually? You are first adding 2 with 4, then whatever result comes out, then you are adding it with the third one, that is 6, then 6 plus 6, finally you get the actual or final result, that is 12. Now here, when what is what? The data is the entire data, that is 2 plus 4 plus 6, and intermediate result is what? 6 plus 6. means when you have added 2 plus 4 and the next 6 is waiting to be added, that is intermediate result, and the final result is 12. Once it is 12, then you speak out the result. Yes, the answer is 12. So memory unit helps to keep the data till the processing is going on. All right. Now memory unit also having two types or two categories, I would say rather. First is primary or main memory. Now it's volatile in nature, limited in capacity and used during the processing. One example is there, that is random access memory or RAM. Now first we need to understand what is volatile. Volatile means it depends on electricity flow. Means, second thing, let me complete first. It is limited in capacity, means it's not that high capacity, and till you are doing the processing, you are calculating or you are typing or painting or something, till then it will be used. Now first we need to understand what is volatile. So now suppose you are typing something in Microsoft Word. Suddenly electricity goes off, and if you again switch on the computer, you won't get that thing what you have typed before. Why? Because the entire thing was kept in the primary or main memory, okay, like RAM. Now why it is so? Because once current goes off, electricity goes off, the content of the primary or main memory will be wiped out. So once you switch on the computer again, the entire data will be wiped out, so you would have not got anything on the screen. Now the second one, this is secondary or auxiliary memory. It's non-volatile in nature with high capacity and used to store the data permanently for future use. Examples: hard disk, CD, DVD, pen drives and lots, etc. Many other things, zip drive and other things, magnetic tapes, etc. Anyways, so this is non-volatile in nature, the secondary memory or auxiliary memory. How? Means it is not depending on electricity. It means once you have done anything on the computer and suppose you have saved it, you know how to save a file in MS Word or Paint or wherever. So once you save it, give a name, it goes or transfers from primary memory to secondary memory. Now you are safe. Now if current goes off and you switch on the computer again, you can bring back the file or whatever you have done in the computer to your screen again, because it has been sent to secondary memory, and secondary memory is not depending on electricity. So it is non-volatile, just reverse of the first one. Now it has high capacity, it is quite high than RAM. Now RAM normally we have maximum 1 GB and we can extend it to 4, 6 and 6. But nowadays the capacity of secondary memory are quite high, it has gone up to terabytes. Anyway, that is not a part of discussion right now. And it is, as I've told you, it stores the data permanently for future use. So you can save the file or you save your data and later on you can extract it. Now examples are hard disk, CD, DVD, pen drive, I've told you earlier. The second one or second thing comes, that is disk drive. Now disk drive has three types. First one is floppy disk, then hard disk. Floppy disk is not in use right now. These are circular plastic discs coated with magnetic oxides and enclosed within a square plastic cover. It is available in different size like 5.25 inches, 3.5 inches, etc. So now these things are obsolete and we are not using these floppy disks nowadays. Alright. Now hard disk we have just discussed now in the auxiliary memory. So it has more storing capacity, it is usually fixed inside the CPU cabinet, means it is inside the computer itself, Nowadays we have some external hard disk also which we can carry, and it is the way of storing the material is the technique and storage material are quite similar to floppy. Third one is quite popular nowadays, that is optical disk. Now what is optical disk? It uses optical theory or optical technology which is called laser rays. I think you must be aware with laser rays, which is a high quality rays, and these are to be used for storing and reading the data from there. Now the amount of data that can be stored is enormous. We can store high amount of data here. These data can be written once but can be read many times. Now this is a little problem we have here, that is we can write the data once only, but we as many as time we want we can read it. Nowadays we have some readable and writable also, the optical disk, but that is again not part of our syllabus right now. Now some types I have given you here of optical disk. Very well known: CD-ROM, compact disk read-only memory, and DVD, digital versatile disk. Now CD-ROMs, again it uses optical disk, optical technologies, and capability is 670 megabytes, and it used for storing large amount of data. This just told. And after this, one thing has come, that is digital versatile disk. This is DVD. These disks are having capacity up to 4.7 GB gigabytes. Now it is used to store high level of multimedia and videos or movies, etc. You all know nowadays that CD-ROM or DVD, these are very popular. Now finally we have come to an end of the class, today's class. Now in the next class we will be covering SMPS, motherboard and ports, etc. Because of the time constraint I could not cover SMPS today, so it will be taught in the next class. And definitely I have got some work to do for you, definitely, that is write down and learn different parts of CPU in an explanation way and the popular disk drives. So thank you so much for today, and wait for the next video with the other part of the hardware components. Thank you so much.